Well, good morning and welcome to another episode of Sunday Story, an episode that is coming to you so close to Christmas Day. Can you tell where the slush is excited for Christmas Day? Answer, I think he is. Now, we've already looked at the stories in the Jesus Storybook Bible about Jesus coming, Jesus being born. And one of the things that we've been noticing as we've made our way through the whole Bible is that every story up until Jesus is coming points towards him coming. Over the last couple of weeks, we've started to look at the end of Jesus' life. And in many senses, today's story is the story in which the story comes to an end. Now, that does not mean that Sunday Story is over. You should know, I hope, enough about the story of Jesus to know that what happens today isn't the end. But it is a really important story, which is why we didn't want to put it off until the new year. But even as we come so close to Christmas Day and remembering Jesus being born, we wanted to help you guys, grown-ups and kids, to think through why Jesus came. So, over to Ian and Bethan and someone who looks an awful lot like me for today's story. Enjoy.
The sun stops shining. So you're a king, are you? The Roman soldiers jeered. Then you'll need a crown and a robe. They gave Jesus a crown made out of thorns and put a purple robe on him and pretended to bow down to him. Your Majesty, they said. Then they whipped him and spat on him. They didn't understand that this was the Prince of Life, the King of heaven and earth who had come to rescue them.
The soldiers made him a sign, our king, and nailed it to a wooden cross. They walked up a hill outside the city. Jesus carried the cross on his back. Jesus had never done anything wrong, but they were going to kill him the way criminals were killed.
They nailed Jesus to the cross. Father, forgive them, Jesus gasped. They don't understand what they're doing. You say you've come to rescue us, people shouted. But you can't even rescue yourself. But they were wrong. Jesus could have rescued himself. A legion of angels would have flown to his side if he'd have called. If you were really the Son of God, you could just climb down off that cross, they said.
And of course, they were right. Jesus could have just climbed down. Actually, he could have just said a word and made it all stop. Like when he healed that little girl and stilled the storm and fed 5,000 people. But Jesus stayed. You see, they didn't understand. It wasn't the nails that kept Jesus there. It was love.
Papa, Jesus cried, frantically searching the sky. Papa, where are you? Don't leave me. And for the first time, and the last time, when he spoke, nothing happened. Just a horrible, endless silence. God didn't answer. He turned away from his boy. Tears rolled down Jesus' face, the face of the one who would wipe away every tear from every eye.
Even though it was midday, a dreadful darkness covered the face of the world. The sun couldn't shine. The earth trembled and quaked. The great mountains shook, rocks split in two, until it seemed that the whole world would break, that creation itself would just tear apart.
The full force of the storm of God's fierce anger at sin was coming down on his own Son, instead of his people. It was the only way God could destroy sin and not destroy his children whose hearts were filled with sin. But Jesus shouted in a loud voice, "It is finished." And it was. He had done it. Jesus had rescued the whole world. "Father," Jesus cried, "I give you my life." And with a great sigh, he let himself die. Strange clouds and shapes filled the sky, purple, orange, black, like a bruise.
Jesus' friends gently carried Jesus. They laid Jesus in a new tomb carved out of rock. How could Jesus die? What had gone wrong? What did it mean? They didn't know anything anymore, except they did know their hearts were breaking. "That's the end of Jesus," the leader said. But just to be sure, they sent strong soldiers to guard the tomb. They hauled a huge stone in front of the door of the tomb so that no one could get in or out.
Oh, well, guys, thank you so much for sticking around for today's story. Thank you so much to everyone who has been with us week in, week out during the pandemic, since we started Sunday Story nearly 40 weeks ago in March. Remember that we have our Sunday School Zoom at 11:30. That is the last one this year. And I believe, if I've read my emails correctly, that it's a special Christmas jumper party. So, Cheryl and Angharad want to make sure that you're ready to go for that. So if you've got a Christmas jumper, go and grab it, put it on. I think you're allowed to bring snacks and everything. And we'll see you on Zoom at 11:30. Okay? Thanks for coming. Merry Christmas. Bye.